Hi, I'm Gill, and today I'm going to take you through a really quick sequence which is great just before going for a walk or a run. You will need some kind of a ball, so I've got a softish, spiky ball. You could use a tennis ball, or if you're brave you could use a golf ball, but try different things and see how you get on. We're going to start off just very lightly with the ball, just tracing around the edge of your foot. So really lightly around the inside, across the ball of the foot, around the heel, in one direction and another. You'll notice that as well as creating some mobility around my ankle and foot, it's also having an effect on my knee and upon my hip too. So once you've gone around the foot a couple of times in each direction, we're going to bring the ball towards the middle of the foot and apply just a little bit more pressure. So I'm pressing into the ball and just gently rolling my foot forward like a little foot massage. And you can apply as much pressure as you feel comfortable with. And then we're going to bring the heel onto the ball and stand with the feet side by side and just begin a gentle walking pattern like this. And I'm pressing quite firmly down with my heel into the ball now. So this is activating different fascia in different parts of the foot, and the different pressure is really useful for stimulating different areas and different tissue. So a few more like this. Notice as you're sending your heel down into the ball, you're creating some length and extension here at the front of the hip, and I'm standing nice and tall, my shoulders are relaxed as I'm doing this. So just a couple more. You really don't need to spend a great deal of time on this. And then step off the ball and just notice how this foot, leg, even maybe shoulder feels compared to the other one. I feel much more grounded on this side. I'm just going to roll down towards the floor. You can soften your knees if you want to, or keep your legs straight, but just notice how the movement feels on the side that you've worked on compared to the side that you haven't. Slowly unravel, come back up into standing, and let's do the same on the other side. So this light touch, first of all, just tracing the ball around the edges of the foot. Remember to go around the heel as well. If there's any areas that maybe you're not so used to working around, try and spend a little bit longer around that part. Just this feather light touch tracing the edges of the feet, and then bring the ball into the middle of the foot and just apply a little bit more gentle, sustained pressure as you roll the foot over the ball. That's it. Just gently pressing, rolling through the center of the foot. You could spread your toes out wide as you send the foot over. And then just come and stand with the heel on the ball and go into this gentle walking pattern. Perhaps you might find it helpful to put your hands on your hips and notice that there is some movement happening in the pelvis there as well. Feel that as you're sending and sinking the heel down into the ball, it's creating some length and extension at the front of the hip, all really important for our walking and running patterns. And again, you don't need to spend a huge amount of time on this. Literally a couple of minutes is all you need to make a difference. Step off. Compare, do you feel a little bit more even through both sides now, perhaps a bit more grounded? And then we're going to roll down towards the floor again, just noticing if that movement feels nice and even on both sides. Working through the feet like this can really help to release right through the whole back of the body. From here, we're going to roll down towards the floor. You can soften your knees if you want to, but when you get to the floor, walk your hands out along your mat into a plank position, and from plank we're going to send the feet towards the floor and come into our triangle shape, and just transition between these two movements a couple of times. So plank, send the feet down, the bottom goes up into triangle, and again pelvis down, breastbone forward. So just check that you feel happy transitioning from one position to the next. Then as we go into our triangle position, we're going to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling, stretching through the hip, and then dive the knee towards the chest. Let's aim for 5. Reach the right leg up, dive the knee towards the chest. You can round through your spine, your lower back, as you bring the knee forward. This is number 4. And on the 5th one, I'm going to dive my leg up and forward and land it somewhere between my hands. If you didn't quite make it, you can just pop the leg there with help. But then drop the left knee down towards the floor so it feels a little bit easier to be here. I'm on my fingertips. You could bring some cushions in if you want to make that feel more comfortable. And I'm just going to gently rock forwards and backwards. So if you can see my foot, it's staying flat on the floor. I'm not lifting my heel and I'm not lifting my toes. And I'm just going as far as it feels comfortable for me on this day to gently rock forwards and back. You could add in a little bit of a bounce, one way and the other. So just making the movement feel a little bit more dynamic. And then we're going to rock back this way and now allow those front toes to lift. My knee is staying slightly soft and I'm going to rotate my leg in and out. So my thigh bone is twisting and rotating, but I'm keeping my pelvis quiet. So I'm noticing how much movement I've got available in my hip in each direction. Notice my foot. So I'm going to take my big toe to the floor, sweep it around towards the little toe edge, and then little toe sweep around to the big toe. So just encouraging some more ankle mobility here. Again, you don't need to spend a huge amount of time on this. A few repetitions will make quite a difference. Last time. So then I'm going to rest my foot down to the floor and lunge forward again, but this time come up into a higher kneeling position. So when we go for a walk or a run, we're moving in a forwards motion. It's called the sagittal plane. So it's really useful for us to practice that and feel this fold and unfold at the hip. But often if we go out for a walk or a run, we can land in funny places on our feet and we want the tissue to be able to adapt to that. So start to take the foot for a little bit of a walk off piste, and you can go wherever feels comfortable for you. If you've got any knee niggles, just be cautious with it at first. But we want to feel like the tissue is able to adapt in lots of different positions. So I'm coming out to the side. I'm going to go onto the little toe edge of my foot, over to the big toe edge. Just experiment, play around with it, and notice how it feels to be in these different positions. Good. And then gradually make your way back to this forward motion place. Should feel a little bit easier to be there. And then as we lunge forward, bring the hands down by the side of the foot, tuck the back toe under, and press back into our triangle. So just take a moment to notice how the leg that you've worked on feels compared to the leg that you haven't. Maybe just go into a little bit of a walking pattern here and observe the difference. And then ready to go on the left side. So from our triangle position, we're going to reach and extend the left leg up towards the ceiling and then dive the knee forward to the chest. You can go as quickly or as slowly as you want to. Reaching up, diving the knee forward. We're aiming for about. You land the foot somewhere between the hands and drop that back knee down towards the floor. Shoulders relaxed. And backwards. Notice that you can keep your foot on the floor, so you're not lifting the heel or the toes, just working within the range that motion. Do one more and then rock back. Keep the knee slightly soft, draw the toes up, and start to rotate your thigh bone gently in and out. How far can you rotate the leg in and out, but still keep the pelvis relatively quiet here? Can we add in that sweep with the foot? So take the big toe to the floor, sweep around to the little toe edge, little toe to the big toe edge. If this feels uncomfortable in any way, just work with the range that you have. You'll be surprised over time, if you practice this a few times, how quickly things will improve. Bring the foot to the floor, lunge forwards again, and this time come up into this high lifted position. My breastbone is lifted, shoulders relaxed. And I'm just exploring, again, that forwards and backwards motion here, noticing how that feels in the hip. And then I'm going to take my foot for a little bit of a walk, going out to the side, coming back in, going across to the other side, just playing around with landing that foot in as many different positions as possible. So go maybe on the little toe edge or the big toe edge. If you were running off road or running on the road and you fell off the curb, you want to know that the leg or the foot has been in these positions and the tissue can tolerate it. So noticing if there's areas that maybe feel a little bit more wobbly and unstable, can you practice working at that place a little bit more? I think I need to work on this side a little bit more. And then let's make our way back to the middle and just balance forwards and back. I feel much more balanced now going forwards and back, having gone a little bit off piste. And then I'm going to bring my hands down to either side of my foot, press back into my triangle, and just compare and check that things feel a little bit more even. From here, we're just going to bring the feet to level and drop the knees to the floor and spring them back up. Drop the knees down and back up. It's like a little controlled fall, dropping the knees and catching. Do 2 more, and on this last one, you're going to drop the knees, jump to the feet, unroll from the bottom of your back, come all the way into standing, big stretch, circle the arms, and you're ready for action. Enjoy your walk or your run today.